it's Susie here. I really hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, and if you haven't guessed already, we're not at home. We're in Newcastle this weekend. We are here for the Great North Run 2024. This is the largest half marathon in the world, and I thought I would bring you along with me as we run from Newcastle to South Shields. And this weekend I am attending this event alone. I started off the journey at Sheffield train station and headed on the train and met a lovely 62-year-old lady who I chatted with for 2.5 hours, and we spoke about everything from running to her family. It was very just lovely and wholesome. If you are traveling on your own somewhere or you're doing something for the first time alone, you will always find other people that are doing the same. I got into central Newcastle, hopped off the train and headed over to the 40 Run Club podcast. I went into this exhibition room, straight into a sea of people that I've never met before, and got talking to some really lovely people again. A few people I met from Essex, another lovely lady who'd come from Edinburgh. Just so nice to talk to people and just have some lovely conversations. Of course, then it was over to Chris Ford and his friends to talk about the Great North Run. That was a really lovely way to start off the Newcastle weekend. And now we just checked into the hotel. I'm just gonna have a really chilled evening, taking it really easy before tomorrow because it's gonna be a big day with a lot of people and a lot of atmosphere. If you're planning on doing a future Great North Run, then I really hope this vlog gives you some insight of what my weekend was like and give you some insight into what the run is like itself. I can't believe that this is real. I've just attached my race number. I've got my vest, my top with my number on. If you know what this is, you're gonna laugh so much. But I have this jumper that is one of my London ballot entry commiseration prizes. If you know, you know. I've got that with me so I can wear it in the morning and just donate it when I'm done with it to keep warm. Energy gels. I'm only going to use 2, but I brought an extra one just in case. Hilly's socks. If you're looking for good run socks or anti-blister socks, these are amazing. Sports bra, leggings, underwear, etc. And I am running tomorrow in my Super Blast. That is the outfit check. This is kind of my first aid bag / other miscellaneous bits for running. So in here I have Body Glide, Vaseline, plasters, Savlon, extra safety pins. It's giving dance mom, but we're just gonna accept that. I did pick up some snacks. Please don't laugh. Jaffa cakes, absolute elite snack. Salty crisps. When I get back tomorrow, I'll be thinking about these. Electrolytes, gonna start drinking those in the morning. I've already had some today. Uber Eats is on its way. Just like that, it's now the day after the Great North Run and I'm just exploring the local area. I stayed in Jesmond, which is full of really cute shops and cute surroundings. Oh my god, look at those croissants. Anyway, I thought I'd take the day after the race to just reflect a little bit and also check out the local area. This is Jesmond Park, a really nice place to have a little stomp around and get in my reflective feels. I also took some time as well to explore the central Newcastle. I thought I have to go and say goodbye to the Time Bridge, so hopped on the metro into Central and had a little walk around. I feel like Nora the Explorer. We're going to try and make it down to the Time Bridge because we've got to see that before we leave, haven't we? Now, to address the elephant in the room, I know I'm so sorry I didn't get as much footage as I would have liked to during the Great North Run, but this is one of the iconic moments running over that Time Bridge. And as you can tell, the weather really didn't hold up the day after the Great North Run either. I headed into Waterstones. What a rainy day vibe. After all that exploring, decided to get a coffee before heading home. And just like that, I am back home from the Great North Run. Honestly, I had the best weekend in Newcastle. There was just so much kindness and friendliness around the whole event, and I had such a good time, not only getting to run the Great North Run, but meeting everyone that I met as well. I just thought I'd do a quick race day review and tell you about the Great North Run, how I found the experience, especially if you're someone who's entering the ballot for next year or future years to come. This was my first ever Great North Run, so I hope that these tips help you because they definitely helped me. First of all, in terms of a race review, I think that the Great North Run could be categorized as the biggest fun run ever. It's definitely not a course nor a race that is a PB type of run. You just have that expectation that there's going to be a lot of people around you. And as well, this course isn't the flattest course. You'll notice that past the start line, there are gentle inclines, and those inclines never really seem to go away. You feel like you're on a gentle incline all the way up to South Shields, and there are a few little spicy hills in between as well. And then all of a sudden, once you get to South Shields, you'll go down a really big drop. I'm not even going to say a decline, it is a drop. Be careful when you come to that final drop at the end. Take it easy down that hill, and then you're on the home straight to the finish. This is a road race, so you are primarily running on the roads up to South Shields. I wouldn't say that it's very scenic, but honestly, what makes the run special is the people, the spectators. Honestly, the people of Newcastle are just absolutely incredible. On the Great North Run that I did, 2024, it was, pouring down with rain, and there was still people out there handing out sweets, donuts, high fives. They were holding up the signs. They were cheering for everyone running past them. Honestly, that is the most special thing about the Great North Run, the atmosphere and the people. It really is a special run to do. If you're a keen runner or someone who likes to do races or work towards a race day type of goal, I would definitely recommend the Great North Run as one to tick off on your list. In terms of my tips for race day, the first one I will say is get there early, probably earlier than you expect to get there, because if I hadn't mentioned already, there is a lot of people around. Just getting yourself over to your pen can be difficult, especially if you're following crowds and people are stopping off to go to the toilets, baggage buses and all things like that. Just allow yourself enough time to get over to your pen so you're keeping nice and calm and relaxed before you head out and run 13.1 miles. My second tip is once you're in the pens, bring a jacket with you or a rain poncho or something to wear to keep you warm whilst you're waiting. Now, this was particularly important this year because it really started to mist and then rain before we set off, and you'll be waiting a decent amount of time in your pen before you set off. I think we actually started to run about 11:40, something like that, for our wave to begin because of there being so many people. So definitely bring a jumper to keep warm or something waterproof, especially if it's forecast to rain. And as you get closer to the start line, you can then throw this to one side, and all the items that are left at the starting line, like clothing, will then get donated to charity. If you're needing a drink whilst waiting, there will be some volunteers there that have water. Having water, if it's a particularly hot day, might be a good idea to carry with you at the starting line if you need to. Another tip that I discovered when I was waiting at the starting line was to be somewhere in your pen that you can either see a screen or hear a speaker. When I was at the start line, I met two wonderful women which I chatted to for the whole 45 minutes before we were starting, and it was lovely. They were such nice ladies and we had such a giggle before we started. But even though we were enjoying ourselves, we weren't quite sure what was happening because we couldn't hear the speakers and nor could we see a screen because the screen in front of us was so far away and the speakers were behind us. So we couldn't hear or really know what was going on in terms of the race start, especially with the warm-up and things like that. We couldn't see a screen or we couldn't hear the speakers, so we couldn't really follow the warm-up either because there was just so many people in front and behind us that we were just not close enough to know what was going on. Again, totally fine, not necessary, but a tip if you want to kind of keep in the loop of what's happening at the start is to be in front or towards a speaker, or just being able to see a screen so you can keep on track with the progress of the race start. And I think next year, if or when I go again, I think that's one thing I'll change about the start of the Great North Run for me, because it would have been so nice to even watch the elites, you know, go off at the start, or see what was happening on live coverage on BBC. Seeing all those little things at the start might have even changed my starting experience. But like I said, it was no sweat anyway. I was having the best time with my new friends that I made at the start line. The next tip is something I've already mentioned, and something that actually quite a few people told me as well. The Great North Run is not a course that you can expect a PB on, purely for the amount of people in the race and in the run. There is a lot of people around, so naturally you're going to have build-up of people in front of you, maybe people wanting to walk, run. It's just a very busy run. As I mentioned before, it's not a flat run. There is a gentle incline that runs from the start all the way up until the end. So just something to know if you have that expectation for the Great North Run. Of course, it is totally possible to get a PB at the Great North Run, and you can totally do that if you want to. But again, just leaving this here as a little tip, because there are so many people around you, just to kind of respect that you're running with 60,000 people and it's going to be busy. And my second to last tip for the Great North Run is to have your headphones with you, but take moments to turn them off. I probably listened to music for about 15 minutes of the whole run. It was just so nice listening to the crowds, listening to the entertainment along the course. There was people doing karaoke, there was bands playing, there was just so much to take in and smile at and absorb. You know, people stood on top of buses and shouting your name, and people over the bridges above you cheering and ringing bells. It's honestly an amazing atmosphere. So if you can turn that music off and just take it in, I definitely recommend to do that, because it really is something special out there. And my last tip is for the end of the Great North Run. When you finish the Great North Run, you'll be greeted by lovely volunteers that will direct you to get your race bag and your medal. And from there, you can either head over into the charity tents or the exhibition tents. You can go and head to your baggage bus, and then you can head over to a mode of transport to get you back into Newcastle should you need to. Now this year I actually didn't stay in South Shields long at all. It's such a shame because of the weather. I didn't really get to see South Shields because it was just one big foggy mist of rain cloud. Maybe I do have to go back next year just to experience what South Shields looks like, because I definitely didn't get to see it at the end. I headed straight off to the buses, which honestly is a much quicker rotating queue than going to get the metro. The bus will take you back into central Newcastle to the starting point of where you started, where you went to join your pens and your waves. It'll take you to that area. Just expect that, you know, it's not going to be the quickest journey because, again, there's a lot of people. In the bus queue, I probably only queued for 20 minutes, and then it took us 40 minutes to get back into Newcastle, and then I was back on my way. So yeah, obviously not the quickest journey back into Newcastle, but to be expected with so many people. But I would definitely recommend getting the bus over the metro for the way back into Newcastle. Those are a few things that I hope that will be helpful, especially if you're about to do your first Great North Run in the next year. And just enjoy it all, because it is a really special day. And just to end this video, we have to show you the 2024 medal for the Great North Run. It's a double-sided medal. Again, from what people told me before, People have always said that the Great North Run do great medals, and I think that they are right when they say that. I hope this video has helped you get excited for the Great North Run. Were you at the Great North Run 2024? If you were, let me know. How did you enjoy it? I really hope you had as great a day as I did. Of course, if you want to stick around and follow the channel for more adventures coming up, then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.